There's living up to the hype, and then there's the Avengers. Hello and welcome to my review of the Marvel extravaganza, The Avengers, starring Robert Downey Jr., Chris Hemsworth, and Chris Evans. Yes, people, we are finally at the huge, bloated, mega Marvel extravaganza, and if there was any movie that was going to fall up short this year and trip up, it was going to be this movie. But let me tell you something, guys. The Avengers was 100% worth the 4-year wait. The Avengers, to put it very simply, pits the four heroes, Iron Man, Thor, Captain America, and the Hulk, against Loki, who is Thor's brother, who has found a way to come back down from Asgard and rain down an alien army upon the Earth. That's pretty much all you need to know going into this movie, and the rest of the plot elements you'll figure out as you watch the movie. I gotta say, guys, this movie was absolutely spectacular. This movie is a thrill ride from beginning to end. And you take every fanboy dream that they've ever had about this film, multiply it by 30, and then put your favorite action movie in there, and you'll almost have something as awesome as The Avengers. But the best thing about this movie is the characters, because you've grown to love them throughout this entire series of Marvel movies, and now it's just them being together. There's no more introducing you to them, and it's just them at their best. You got Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, you got Chris Hemsworth as Thor, Chris Evans as Captain America. They're all great, and surprisingly fantastic, you have Mark Ruffalo as Bruce Banner and the Hulk. Now, I wasn't quite sure how his side of it was going to work out, but I have to say I was really impressed by what Mark Ruffalo brought to the Hulk. He has kind of a more kind of quirky, offbeat exterior with kind of a more dark, morbid sense of humor, but I like that. I like a Bruce Banner who's a little bit more harder to peg, as opposed to the first Edward Norton's Bruce Banner, which was also good, but was a lot more kind of deadly serious and straight and narrow. This one was actually kind of morbidly funny in a way. And of course, all the characters in this movie, it's great because they're all in top form. This is the best they've ever been portrayed in any film. Robert Downey Jr., of course, fantastic as the snarky Tony Stark. Hemsworth and Evans are great. I love how they made Captain America more of a strategist in this movie. They really enforced his role as the leader, and I loved Evans' command of the screen in this film. And also as the villain, Tom Hiddleston as Loki was just fantastic. He gives a lot more of a dark, aggressive, and a little bit also darkly humorous performance than he did in Thor, but it really, really works. Also, I enjoyed Jeremy Renner and Scarlett Johansson as Hawkeye and Black Widow. They're both great, and they were both very valuable characters in this film. None of these characters were pushed to the wayside. They all felt like they got an important role, even the smaller ones like Black Widow and Hawkeye. But the thing about this movie is the action scenes are, to paraphrase the Hulk, incredible. I've never seen action on quite this scale before. This movie sets the bar in terms of action. The bar for action is now like 50 meters higher than it was before. This movie, Joss Whedon just has that exact fanboy brain to know just everything we want to see these characters do in an action scene, and he gives them plenty of time and room to do that. These guys are scaling mountains. These guys are beating the crap out of these alien armies in all sorts of crazy ways. And the best part is Whedon can flat out film action. Pulls the camera back, steady shots. In fact, there's one incredible tracking shot of just all the heroes kicking ass at once, and it like flies to the whole city. It's incredible the way Whedon frames this, especially for a fairly inexperienced motion picture director. All of my problems with the movie are just very tiny, minor things. I felt like the first 20 minutes or so weren't great, honestly. It took me a while to kind of stop convincing myself that it was awesome and then actually thinking it was awesome, if that made any sense. I still love the movie. It was just a little minor complaints here and there. But overall, this movie is the definition of a crowd pleaser. I've never heard a crowd cheer so much as they did in this movie, and that's got to say something. Joss Whedon really pulled it together here, and he made a fantastic film. I give The Avengers 4 stars out of 4, by far one of the best comic book movies ever made. So tell me in the comment box below, who are 3 other people that if you were forced to be on a team with, you couldn't do it? And that was my review of The Avengers. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you can subscribe to my channel, and until next time, I'm Movie Kid Mike.